Getting ready for the final Toyota 86 Racing Series race of 2016. Will Brown has sealed the deal. He will be the champ no matter what happens this afternoon. And earlier in the weekend, Kylie King caught up with him, who's already won a title this year in Formula 4. Will, you're quickly becoming the king of the streets of Sydney. Talk me through that race. You had pressure all the way.
Yeah, definitely did. Didn't get the best jump off the start. The lights got held for a bit longer and just didn't get it. But I got a pretty good run down to down to turn one and was able to get back past Cameron, and then was able to just get good exits off all the corners. That there was a passing area up ahead, and was able to maintain the lead. Safety car came out, which made it a bit nerve-wracking. But we got a good last lap in and was able to take the checkered flag.
Do you feel like you're that one step closer to the title, or are you just not thinking about how that's all going to unfold tomorrow?
It's a tough weekend going into it, obviously. Like you say, you're leading. It's a lot of pressure, but we had a good run then, and if we can do it again tomorrow, it'd be great. So once again, we're looking for race wins as we did then, and we're going to try our hardest. So see what happens.
When the cars are all so equal and there's long straights and tight corners, is it easier to defend than perhaps some other tracks?
Yeah, it is probably a little bit easier, but it's still just got to get those exits. So it worked out pretty well then, but we just got to see what happens tomorrow. So a bit of work going on there at the moment. So we have a little bit of a delay here to get ready for this final race. One of our invited drivers is a man who's had an unbelievable year. We bow down before you, Jonathan Webb. 12-hour winner, 1,000 winner. Nobody in the history of Australian motorsport has done that in the single season. Welcome along, but the last race, that was very short for you all.
It was. I got all dressed up, got all excited, ready to go racing, and I actually only made it to turn one and we're all done and dusted, which was a bit disappointing, but we'll have another go now. I've got another 9 laps and hopefully stay out of trouble, have some fun. Give
me the update. Who is where in terms of your fellow invited drivers, Alex and Matty Brabham? What's the story with their cars?
Both of those boys are going again. They're able to fit Matty's one, and one of the coolest things I found about this series, some of the boys run a T-car, so Alex is in the spare for this one.
He's going to start from position 15. Matthew Brabham 19th, and you're starting position 27. So this is a case now of 9 laps of self-preservation, I would think.
That's exactly right. I gave myself a pat on the back for making it through turn 1 last time without any trouble. We'll try and do the same, make it all through lap 1, and we can have some racing.
Jono, it's Matt Nolte. Well done this weekend so far, and congratulations on the Bathurst success too. Yesterday it didn't go to plan though.
No, not at all. I actually thought we were doing pretty well. I qualified about where I needed to be, got myself on the side of the top 10 and thought, let's go have some fun, stay out of trouble. And we were doing exactly that until we found, fortunately, come around blind turn 8 and there was 2 cars in the wall in front of me and did all I could to avoid, but piled straight in the back. I've
got to say too, Jono, happy anniversary. It's 6 years ago today since you won here at the Sydney 500 in that amazing wet race in the Mother Ford for Techno and DJR. Happy memories too of that day.
Yeah, absolutely amazing times. First win in a supercar, and to be able to do it here at one of my favourite tracks. And I've had some good success here in the past, but I mean, it's only someone like you, Noons, that's going to remember that sort of stuff. I was much younger in those days.
Oh, come on now. You're not that old. Because if you're old, that makes me old as well.
Yeah, we're all catching up.
We've invited 3 drivers for every round to come along. And I know I've said this quite a bit throughout the course of the year. They're not just there to race for the trophies. They're there to coach. They're there to teach. They've got amazing experience over the course of decades in motorsport of different categories, different cars, different tracks. And when you send out this field of, well, there's a big mixture. There's young drivers looking to use this category as a springboard. There's older drivers who are at the stage of their business and their life where this is a great way to go racing at some of the marquee events in a car that suits them. And then there's a few drivers who are in between. So we almost have 10 fights within the field, different experience levels, different speed levels. It's a really great mix.
Lots of interest generated during the season too, and looks like we're going to have some strong grids for 2017 as well, and some good prize money up for grabs too in the championship.
We like cash.
We love cash.
We're no different to a race driver. We like cash, and in the Toyota 86 Racing Series, with Will Brown having sealed the deal, that's $50,000 worth of cash prize to him, and a few other bonus awards, which we'll be run into tonight at the Toyota 86 Racing Series dinner. I'm not sure if he even knows what he's up for as well as that, but looking forward to running through that this evening. Let's go to the final race, though. It's race 15 of the season. Will Brown and Cam Hill on the front row. Trent Grubel and Luke King, row 2. Tim Brook and Drew Ridge next from Josh Hunter and Adam Gowans. Kane Baxter-Smith and Zach Lascalpo, who's doing a nice job this weekend. He starts 10th, and there is David Cedars. He starts 11th. He needs to move forward to have any chance of finishing runner-up.
Yeah, race 2 didn't help him earlier today. Did it with that red flag coming out. Callum Jones starting down in 25th place. John O'Webb from 27th. And John Iafola will start from 29th on the grid. We've lost 3 after the incident this morning, but well done to everybody in the series to get the cars repaired that were caught up in that incident to get them out for the final race of the season.
And as we mentioned before, Alex Davison has moved into a spare car, which is permitted under the rules of this series. Drivers warming up their Dunlop Durezza tyres. Remember, they're not on a slick racing tyre like the supercars are on a slick Dunlop or the DBS series. This is a groove tyre, and that's where the invited drivers struggle a little bit, because it's against their wiring in their brain. When the car starts to slide, the tyre can take some more, but in their mind, in slick racing tyre world, that's not good. You don't want to go beyond that realm of grip. You want to pull back from there when you can actually keep going with it here. So that's why the guys who drive these cars all the time are unbelievably fast. And guys with great pedigree like Alex Davison, Matty Brabham, Stephen Johnson, Tony Longhurst, some of the invited drivers we've had this year, it's really hard to beat them when they drive them all the time.
And that's why you'll hear the squealing going into the corners as well. Tyres protesting under pressure. There's Matty Brabham in car 36. An extended holiday for the man that these days spends most of his time in Indianapolis, over there where him and his partner Kimberly have spent a long time now. Raced at the Indianapolis 500 earlier this year and did a great job for Pertec Team Murray, and finished second to Sheldon Creed in the Stadium Super Truck Series, which I'm sure he'll go back and try and go one step better in season 2017. But there is your Toyota 86 Racing Series champion, Will Brown, the man from Toowoomba. There's something about that part of the world that breeds great race car drivers.
I knew where you were going with that before you even got there. And the guy we're talking about is, of course, the former IndyCar Series champ and good friend of so many people in supercars, paddock and racing, is Will Power, of course, driving for the great Roger Penske in the United States. Right. Final race of the year, the series is done. The fight for second is on the line, and the reason is it's worth $30,000 in cash. Will it be David Cedars or will it be Cam Hill? Cam is on the front row. Let's get racing for the final time at Sydney Olympic Park. There's one going early in the background. I reckon Aaron Zerafos went about 4 seconds before everybody else. It's a really even jump. Lachlan Deagle starting from pit lane. Look at this, top 2 side by side down to turn 1. Will Brown will have the line. Cam Hill is hung out to dry, and Luke King's going to try and fire it in the inside and run up the hill to turn 2 and see if he can put himself between the 2 cars on the front row.
It's the only invitation he needed, but he's going to have to battle with Tim Brook for 3rd spot as Brown leads us down to the chicane on lap number 1. King has the better line here and will protect it as the cars hit the chicane. Everybody's safely through at turn 1.
There are 13 corners, Matt, on this track. 9 of them, these cars, are on 2 wheels using the curbs. Top 2 again have got margin. They've sprinted clear. I thought Luke King was going to get the great run off turn 1, but he's fighting with Tim Brook. First time through the sweeper. Turn 5.
Tyres not up to temperature right now, but they've been very brave on the sweeper down there at turn 5. But Brown and Cameron Hill check out of this one. Now King's going to have them stacking up as they come past the Shannon's Insurance wall cam.
I swear in among there I heard a missed gear change, and you can see in the background guys are fanning around trying to find position. Grubel going for a lunge on Tim Brook. Not quite in the gap, doesn't quite get it done. This is the section that brings them in and around the train station here at Sydney Olympic Park. It's the only venue I know where you can go via public transport, pop up in the middle and see some car racing. Look at this, Alex Davison, he swapped cars, remember, for this one. So this is the generic Toyota livery on car 42. He's already got that rear bumper loose. He's been given a tickle from behind. He's in the middle of the pack, so you've got to have eyes looking forward and back, one around right in front of Jonathan Webb, who's had it all this weekend. Aaron Zerafos, and I think he was the car that went early on the grid before the lights went out. 6 spots he made up, and now it goes back to where he probably should have been when the lights went out there. The Brian Hilton Motorsport entry, car number 8, a very successful entrepreneur, spends a lot of time between Sydney and Los Angeles these days. Replay the start. There he is. Yeah, just a little early.
It's like a second or 2 between mates.
Replay with Jonathan Webb, who saw it all and didn't get sucked in. How many times do you see someone creeping or jumping a start and the rest of the drivers go with them rather than the lights. Jonathan's too experienced to fall for that one. Oh, here he is making a move on James Wilkins.
Good pass.
Squeezes on through.
It's Zerafos in the foreground of that shot, and Wilkins had to give the line up there to Webb in car 17. That's John Iafola. This will be the replay of what happened to Zerafos. Assistance in the background there at turn 12.
That was Hayden Clark behind him, but the question is whether Hayden touched him. Here we go. Webb will tell us. Oh, yeah, that's a touch.
Decent one. So it's been a very wild lap for Jono Webb on the first one. Avoided a couple of moments here, made a couple of positions up.
Here it is again. And that's pretty clear for Greg Crick, Driving Standards Observer, to have a look at and make a call on that one. Back to the front, Will Brown, Cam Hill. There's Luke King. Tim Brook is fourth. Let's look back for David Cedars. He's position number 12. There he is in car number 3, the blue and white car. At this rate, he is going to lose second in the series to Cam Hill and be bumped back to third. The difference between second in the series and third in the series is $15,000.
Ouch.
But you do get 15 grand for finishing third, so it's not too bad.
It's handy. Oh, big moment there for Brown. Just got the rear stepping out there into turn 1, and this is good news for the former Australian Formula Ford champion in Cameron Hill, the man from Canberra, the Illawarra Toyota-sponsored 111, chases Brown. Good news is for Cedars, though. He wrapped up the Utes Championship, so it's another positive. More replays happening down here at turn 8.
Aaron Seaton on the inside using lots of the curb. 2 wheels up the inside. Bump on the side of David Cedars, who probably thinks at the moment he's back in his Ute the way that's gone down. And Seaton sits position 10. Cedars sits in position 12. But our top 2 here, Will Brown and Cam Hill, controlling this race. Lap 3 of 9. Let's head down to the lane with Cam Vanderduggen.
Aaron Zerafos has come into the lane, mate. Jump start, then the incident. Not a great race.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. I thought the light was actually changed, but it went quite well after that. And then towards the last turn, I got tagged, so I just thought I'd call it a day and wait for the next meeting and next race. But it's been good.
Mate, good first year as well. Will we be seeing you back next year?
Yeah, hopefully. They're very nice cars to drive, so hopefully I'll be back. Thank you.
Go and enjoy the sunshine. Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
Back on track, and Ben Grice here, who's into the top 10. He gets a move on Adam Gowans, the Tasmanian, in that Valvoline number 11 car. Working his way forward is Ben. Replay here of Kane Baxter-Smith. Oh, I know what's going on here. He is going for that move, and he's getting it done on Adam Gowans. He's had a very good weekend, Kane Baxter-Smith, actually. He qualified 16th, finished 9th in the first race. Of course, the race earlier today was a non-result, so there's nothing in the results books for anybody from that one. He's continued his move forward. We jump on board with Jonathan Webb, who runs position 20 at the moment. And I don't know what he's trying to... What's he playing around? He's trying to tighten up the seatbelt here, or get his hands device. It might have got just flicked underneath where the belt goes across. You can see that black section underneath the belt. That's the hands device, the head and neck safety system that all the drivers wear these days, which saves them from neck injuries in the case of heavy impacts. And at the moment he sits, well, at the moment he's second. He's second in the invited driver category. Alex Davison's a bit further down the road, and Matthew Brabham is just behind him. This takes us back to the fight for 6th spot. Drew Ridge, Josh Hunter, a couple of young guns. Josh, a former Kumho V8 Touring Car Series champion, and Drew Ridge, who just 17 years of age, year 12 student from Terrigal, who's done a bit of Formula 4 and a bit of Formula BMW Asia, and has been pretty pacing these cars, but this is the best we've seen him run in a sustained performance over a weekend.
Yeah, beautifully presented car too, the Icon Signs entry. More replays happening. This is Webb dancing over the curbs here at turn 2 and 3. Same 2 for Manly, getting the 2-wheeling feeling up there. And just, is he going to hold this, Noons?
The 2-wheeling feeling is not a good one when it comes off the curb like that and it's sideways pointing at the concrete.
The Cooper's Roll Bar fans, an up close and personal visit. It's the view from Davison, Webb, I should say.
Easiest position that John has picked up today.
Exactly right.
This is down at turn 2, 3. Back up the road up there is Olympic Boulevard, where Merchandise Alley is, and ANZ Stadium just off to the right. Oh boy, I just put a wrap on Kane Baxter-Smith and he's ended up in the concrete here. That's on the exit of turn 7. He's got rear damage and front damage. So has he received assistance or has he done this one all on his own? The leaders at the moment are on lap 5 of 9. It's still Will Brown from Cam Hill. That car is well off the racing line, but the question is if he can end up there, maybe someone else can. We'll keep an eye on what unfolds over the course of the next few laps and if race control decides to potentially send out the safety car, but for now we are still under green conditions.
Hayden Clark's come into the pits as well. The South Aussie was involved in that incident with Aaron Zerafos earlier. More replays. Look at the top here as he comes through. He's tagged the wall front and rear. He's just pulled the car up to the left-hand side to keep it out of harm's way. But lucky, there was so much traffic coming in the distance there. So here's Grice, and more action happening now with Cedars as he goes down the inside at turn 5. Good pass from the now Australian V8 Ute Racing Series champion just before the yellow flag sector.
No passing through here. Trent Gruber's got a problem. Hazard lights are on. Stepping out to the inside there and letting Alex Davison and Damon Strongman and Jake Klein all go by. So he's got a drama, which is a real shame. He's had a podium this weekend. Already, the guys at the Cedars Racing team basking in the glory of the Ute Series success. Have T-shirts, they were ready. Not sure if they got the Toyota 86 T-shirt champion ones ready. They probably won't be coming out today.
Keep them for next year, perhaps. Webb, phantom look down the inside of Jared Maggs then at the end of Dawn Fraser Avenue. So Brown's margin seen a fastest lap of 1 minute 49.503. It's about a 10th.5 away from the record, which he holds from yesterday. The pleasure of seeing a couple of the cars going around the circuit here this morning. Just 2 of them going around. You could hear them buzzing around the course here. Been a great addition to our championship this year.
They're topping out about 190 kilometres per hour down Australia Avenue before they wham on the brake pedal and stop these cars. Hook it in, turn 1. There's a curve. Jonathan steers away from that one this time, and then it's very deceptive. It actually does rise a little bit on the way down here to reveal the run to turn 2. This is the fight for 5th place. Drew Ridge, Josh Hunter, not much between them at all. Yellow flag, there it is. No passing through this zone. You've got to wait until you see the green flag that will appear after the Kane Baxter-Smith car before they can race on. It's green for this corner. There will be someone, I guarantee, who tries to lunge the move up there because it's the next one available in the closing laps. But Josh Hunter made a bit of a meal of turn 8 there and has lost the run on Drew Ridge. This is the roller coaster ride. Have a look at this. The road rises, it falls. You might remember when we first came here, they actually filled in some of that road to lift it up a little compared to how it was before racing began here at Olympic Park. But these cars are on an ABS system, so anti-lock braking system, which is great for a driver, but it's also a bit difficult when the bumps are like that and they're trying to jam on the brake pedal and get the car stopped for that next corner.
Battle continues on. This is 5th and 6th. Ridge and Josh Hunter, the grandson of sprint car legend Gary Rush, carrying Rushy's number as well. The carpartsview.com.au sponsored number 2, heading down the straight. His best result coming at Sydney Motorsport Park earlier this year with a 5th place. On board now with Matty Brabham. Back in the field here in 18th position. Jono Webb's gone ahead of him now. So Webb's come from behind Brabs to get ahead of him now. Dramas for Damon Strongman, who's found the wall.
In the fence, exit of the final corner and busted the steering. That's why that car fired straight back at the wall. He didn't steer it there. He wasn't steering it. That was the problem. He's in the concrete. Sydney Olympic Park has claimed some cars this weekend. Here it is. Lost the rear. That'll slap the front end of the wall. There goes the steering. When the wall ends, he moves the wheel and it sends it straight back off in the wall, and it's got a mind of its own now, and he's done. It's been somewhat of a difficult season for Damon Strongman in Toyota 86s. It's been involved in a bit of drama here and there, and this one's all his own issue. No one else involved in that one. Small slide, small tap on the wall, and he is in trouble.
His 5th DNF of the year as well for the number 5 car, the 18-year-old from Sandhurst in Victoria. So we'll have 2 waved yellows now. We continue on with the racing though, Noons. This is good to see. We should get to the end of the race here.
Well, Will Brown's been able to escape here, Matt, from Cam Hill, who is now 2 seconds down the road. But the fight for second, remember we told you the storyline at the beginning of this race. Cam Hill in second place is on target to finish runner-up in the series for 2016, because David Cedars, here he is, car number 3, is back in 10th position as it sits at the moment. So this is good news for Cam Hill, last year's Formula 4 National Series champ, and the guy who came out of the gate fast. He won the first 5 races of the season, but this guy, since that point, he's won more races than anyone, has built the margin, has sealed the series in... Well, he didn't seal it in the last race because it was declared, but because we didn't have it, the points are such that he has a margin that can't be beaten in this final race.
So final lap now of this race. We'll go 1 lap short, handing back to Ridge and Josh Hunter, still back there in 5th and 6th position. But here comes our race leader and our new champion in the Toyota 86 Racing Series, Will Brown, the Cars Galore entry, car 31. 1.8 seconds now ahead of Cameron Hill, and a further 4 seconds back to Luke King on this, the last lap.
We had a very good giggle with Will Brown earlier in the weekend. He's been driving a silver plain Jane car all season. He waits until he gets to the final round. He's actually had a few guys say, hey, mate, come on. If you're going to run in the final round to be a chance for the series, you need to put a livery on it. So they did it for him, and they've come out with this. It looks fantastic. We've had to reprogram our brain to figure out who was the guy in the aqua silver and black car, but it is Will Brown. He's on his final lap. This race will be a time-certain finish. He's only got a couple more corners to go before he seals the deal and really finishes off what has been an amazing year for him. He was the champion in the Formula 4 Open Wheeler Series. He narrowly was pipped to the Formula 4 National Series title by Leanne Tander at Phillip Island last weekend, but he is going to get another trophy on the mantelpiece. He's going to put $50,000 cash into his back pocket. It's been a fantastic season of Toyota 86 Racing Series, the newest category in Australian motor racing, and Will Brown here is a name to watch for the future. He is going to win the series and win the race. Will Brown takes the checkered flag at Sydney Olympic Park. Dominant performance in the second half of the season. He claims yet another race win. His 7th race win of the season, just to put the full stop on them.
Absolute star on the rise. We're going to see this name a lot more in victory lane over the years. In the final race of this year's Toyota 86 Racing Series, 2 seconds ahead of Hill.
Well done to all involved. It's been thoroughly enjoyable this year. Brown, Hill, King and Brookie, your top 4. Drew Ridge next in P5. Josh Hunter, Aaron Seaton, Ben Grice, Dave Cedars and Adam Gowans rounds out the top 10. The Toyotas are done. Still lots more ahead at the Coates Hire Sydney 500.